Thank you, Kuresh. At the outset, I'd like to thank Centis Pharma and the organizers for giving me this opportunity. You can see my slides.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, thank you. So my topic is on dry eye management, which is beyond lubricants. So we all know that dry eye is a multifactorial misery with unhappy patients, a frustrated physician, and a growing prevalence, particularly because of the digital world. There are a lot of comorbidities which has been discussed, the history and the need for other experts in this field. Now I'm going to take mainly the MGD, which is probably the leading cause of dry eye, and look at the role of other factors which can help in patients with MGD. MGD is very important because it reduces ocular health and protection. It has its effects on corneal health, conjunctival health, tear film immunity, visual acuity, ocular discomfort, and contact lens discomfort. So looking at the pathophysiology of MGD, there's a thickening of the mebum, sloughing of the cells within the glands, reduced mebum secretion and blocked ducts, inflammation of the eyelids, and bacterial proliferation and contamination of the healthy tear film with toxins. So this is a pathophysiology and the sequence of events which can happen in an evaporative dry eye. So normally the home remedy would be to give them a warm compress and artificial tears with gels and ointment. In patients with slightly advanced disease, you can try out anti-inflammatory drugs like steroids and cyclosporin. And patients who have other causes, you can try punctal plugs, omega-3 fatty acids, and doxycycline. So looking a little bit at the punctal plugs, there can be two types, the temporary or the dissolving plugs. Normally we use a catgut, which is a biodegradable material, and these plugs can last for an eye from probably a few days to a few weeks. Why does it help? Because then we know how the patient feels. Is he comfortable having a plug in the eye? And whether there's a lot of watering. Some patients can complain of a lot of watering in the eye and they're not very comfortable. So it gives us a trial period to know whether they'll be happy with the permanent plug. So these permanent plugs are longer lasting medical plastic devices which are made of silicone and acrylic. I'm not going to the details of this because there are quite a lot of them in the market. And these plugs are designed to stay in the eye for years and inserted into the canaliculus in patients with severe dry eye. Normally, there is no major side effect associated with it. There may be patients who can develop canaliculitis in which these plugs have to be removed. Other than that, if it has not been inserted properly, it can produce irritation on the ocular surface and has to be reinserted. So looking at the newer modalities, I'm going to concentrate mainly on IPL and LipiFlow, which has its role mainly in treatment of evaporative dry eye disease. So the IPL stands for Intense Pulse Light, in which a handheld computer-controlled flash gun is used to deliver an intense, visible, broad spectrum of light. And as you can see here, you can see the application areas over the malar area and over the zygomatic zone. And this is how it's done. The eye is protected, and then following application of gel, the flash gun is kept on the surface, and 5 applications are done on either side. So it contains a high intensity light source which emits a polychromatic light, and it's a visible light from 15 nanometers to the infrared spectrum. That's the reason why we cover our eyes as well. We give protection to our eyes as well. And the treatment area is located inferior to the lower eyelids, and there's no contact directly overlying the meibomian glands. So how does it work in MGD? MGD has abnormal telangiectatic blood vessels which can secrete chronic inflammatory mediators. So this IPL near the lid causes closing of the abnormal blood vessels secreting inflammatory mediators, and thereby decreasing bacterial overgrowth and improving the quality of the tears. So the mode of action is heat transfer, which softens the mebum and aids expression. That's one thing. Thrombosis of the abnormal vasculature, diminishing the local release of inflammatory mediators. Bacterial load on the lid margins and ocular adnexa can be directly affected by the IPL. And lastly, most importantly, stimulates the zygomatic nerve and increases production of mebum and aqueous.
Meibomian gland dysfunction leads to inadequate expression of mebum and consequently a deficient lipid layer with tear film instability and the onset of dry eye. How does the EI work? We start with choosing the desired energy level decided by the skin tone of the patient. It is important to validate the warnings prior to starting the treatment. After putting an eye shield and application of jelly, the treatment involves applying flashes to the zygomatic region, 5 on each side. Our hypothesis is that this increases the secretion of mebum and aqueous by stimulation of a parallel pathway involving the zygomatic nerve, which increases the parasympathetic outflow to the meibomian and lacrimal glands. Eventually, meibomian gland expression causes restoration of the lipid layer and reduced dryness.
So this is just a very interesting video which shows how this IPL works, and since already it has been discussed, I just want to go into the exclusion criteria. These are some of the exclusion criteria where the patient has very dark skin or active allergies, precancerous lesions, HSV, keratitis, lupus. All these are some of the contraindications where IPL cannot be done. And the main important thing is the recommended application is on 0, 15, 45 days and optionally on 75 days. So I'm just going to discuss some of the trials which have been done in intense pulse ride. This is probably one of the first, which shows that the non-invasive tear breakup time increased from the baseline at day 45 in the treated eye, but not in the control eye. So this was a prospective study done in 3 centers using 62 eyes of 31 patients. And they showed all parameters showed a statistically significant improvement. And the parameters they took into control was the interferometry, T-BAT, CFS, meibomian grade, lid margin abnormalities, etc. So coming to LipiFlow, it's a totally different technology which uses a vector thermal pulse technology. It consists of a console and a single-use sterile device, the activator, and is a drug-free mechanism of action. So the mechanism here is again delivering heat and a therapeutic motion with regulated sensors. So basically it produces compression of the eyelids and expresses open the blockages in the meibomian glands. The obstructed meibum is liquefied and expressed out of the glands and resumes producing and delivering the essential oil needed for the healthy tear film. So looking at this picture, you can see that it's gotten first on the external side, it has an eye cup, which constantly, intermittently applies pressure to the lids. So which has got an inflatable air bladder, so that it goes up and down. And inside it has got a lid warmer. So it keeps warming up the lids, particularly the meibomian glands. But at the same time, it walls over the cornea, so there is no direct heat applied on the cornea. So the heat facilitates the release of the secretion from the obstructed meibomian glands. So this is how the console looks, and these are some of the trials which have undergone this, showing the sustained effect of a single dose of vector thermal pulsation of meibomian gland dysfunction, evaporative dry eye, in which they included 200 subject of 4 lid eyes who were randomized to a single VTP treatment once daily, twice daily, or 3 months, and conventional warm compress and lid hygiene. So at 3 months, the treatment group had a better mean improvement in meibomian gland score and dry eye symptoms compared to the controls. And not only that, over a period of 12 months, they showed the same response. So when you look at the restoration of meibomian gland function, the significant improvement in meibomian glands was seen in this study as well. Am I exceeding my time?
Yeah. I think I need to wind up.
Yeah. Okay. So this is again a study which showed the effect. So this is Tixel is something a new non-radiation technology which has a lot of benefits, which due to lack of time, I'm just winding up. So the caveats are evaporative dry eye is probably the most common cause of dry eye, and lubrication alone may not be sufficient in these patients. Thank you.